So I want to share my experience with Maui Jim sunglasses as someone who lives here in Hawaii and uses them pretty much every single day. I know a lot of visitors come here to Hawaii and they buy sunglasses. Some are very cheap, some can be very expensive. And hey, any eye protection is better than none. But if you're looking for a really good pair of sunglasses, I'd highly recommend Maui Jim. I'm not sponsored by Maui Jim. I have two pairs. One I got as an anniversary gift and the other I bought for myself as a nice birthday gift. I've just really been enjoying these sunglasses. And I thought maybe if there are people out there who are kind of on the fence and they are looking to buy a new pair of sunglasses, maybe just hearing from a regular guy who has sunglasses might help them out. Now I've been looking to buy a new pair of sunglasses because in Hawaii we get a lot of sun, and I've had 4 or 5 pairs of Oakleys, but I've noticed that over the years the lenses started to peel and crack. And I went to the sunglass store and I checked out the usual suspects: Ray-Ban, Costa, Oakley even, and Smith. But when I spoke to the salesperson, he recommended Maui Jim. Now when I first looked at Maui Jim, I thought, isn't that sunglasses for old people? And second thing, when I looked at the price, I was like, oh, kind of expensive. But the salesperson let me try them on outside. And when I put them on, I couldn't believe how amazing the picture looked. I'm not gonna show it to you here. I don't think it would do it any real justice. But if you get an opportunity, go down to a sunglasses store and try them out for yourself. So I want to talk about the pros of Maui Jim sunglasses. Now first, I want to talk about the lens quality. I wanted to make sure that I had a good polarized pair of sunglasses, particularly for driving in lower light conditions. And that's the reason why I got these one-way frames in brown, because the brown tint helps in low light and it creates this very nice contrast when driving. And I still remember the first day I wore them after buying them. I was walking in downtown Honolulu and I put them on and I couldn't believe how the buildings look. Like seeing the sun hit the buildings and the glass and the color, I was like blown away. And what you'll notice, and I think everyone who wears Maui Jim will tell you, is the lens quality is almost unlike any other brand. Because these are actual glass lenses, it doesn't look like the plastic lenses. And there's nothing wrong with those plastic lenses. That's what makes them generally more affordable. But when you try glass lenses, man, it's real nice. And for me, lens quality was very important. In fact, I asked the employees at the sunglasses store, what brand do you use? And across the board, they all said Maui Jim. And to me, that means something. The second pro is the comfort. And I tried on a lot of different models. In fact, not all of them were comfortable, but there were some that were very comfortable. And I think comfort is very important, often overlooked, because you want to get sunglasses that you can wear for a long time. I mean, especially here in Hawaii, you're gonna be going out, maybe the beach, or you're gonna go out walking, and you wanna make sure that they're comfortable enough that you're gonna wear them for potentially hours. Some of the Maui Jims have like a special nose piece that I thought was interesting, but it didn't really fit me that well, and that's why, again, I opted for this one way. The frame is very thin and light. It's super comfortable around the nose for me, and especially around the ears. And I think that helps because these frames are so thin. And originally I was gonna go with the frame called the flats, but when I saw how thin and light these frames were and just how comfortable they felt, I went with one way. Now, when it came to the amberjack frames, I was looking for something for the beach in particular. Now, the reason why I went with these was because of the comfort. When I tried the mangroves, they looked nice and they were an okay fit around the sides, but I noticed that the frames would constantly hit my cheeks. And this was, again, after maybe 5 minutes outside. I was just standing there and I was looking around. I was trying to see if any light leaked in, but it just was uncomfortable because it would constantly hit my cheeks. The difference between the mangroves and the amberjack frames for me is, well, they have like the extra covering on the side, which again is something important for me as I'm going to the beach, because I'm gonna be outside for hours with my kids. But also, it sits a lot better on my nose. And of course, this differs from person to person, but to me, these are the frames that, as soon as I wore them, I could tell that they fit my face very well. That's very important to me, as these are gonna be the ones that I use for the beach. And the third pro, and maybe this doesn't apply to everyone, but it applies to me and is very important to me, is that the brand Maui Jim has a connection to Hawaii. As someone who was born and raised here, it's kind of neat that a brand that originated from Hawaii, although they're now headquartered in Illinois, But a brand that has connections to Hawaii is making really good products. And in a way, I'm glad to be supporting that brand. But now for the cons, because I do want to provide some balanced approach. Now, there's not too many cons when it comes to Maui Jim, and in fact, I wouldn't even consider the price a con. Yes, they're expensive, but generally I think you get what you pay for. But there are some drawbacks, and I do want to mention them. The first thing is that if you're not used to handling expensive sunglasses, you're gonna baby these things because of how much they cost. I mean, if you got a 20 pair of sunglasses, you can just throw them on your head, throw them in your shirt, throw them in the car, throw them in your bag, no big deal. But when sunglasses are over $200, you tend to take care of them a little better. I mean, I don't want my kids touching these. I don't want to put it on my hat in case it slides off. I don't want to tuck it into my shirt in case I tip over and the thing falls over. These go in the case almost all the time I'm not using them. I also don't leave them around or in the car because I don't want these things to get stolen. So just know that because of the price, you're gonna want to make sure that you take care of these. And in a sense, I hope they don't start to own me, because when you buy nice things, sometimes those items tend to own us instead of we owning them. But for the most part, I've gotten used to them, and I'm just trying to make sure that I do my best to take care. The next potential con is frame selection. Now, I've never found it to be that much of a drawback, but when you look at their overall selection, it's a lot smaller than a lot of the other brands. And I think that was the reason why I was initially turned off by Maui Jim as a brand, because my uncle, one time he had Maui Jim sunglasses and he was like, "Hey, brother, go try them." And I was like, okay. So I put them on and the lenses looked great. Like, it looked nice, but he had the frameless style. And so like the lenses had no frames, it was just the glass. And I didn't like that look. I'm not a huge fan of that frameless look. And so I just thought, oh, I guess all Maui Jims are like that, huh? Like they look like that, so not really for me. But the thing with style is it's very subjective. And if you take a look at what they do have to offer, I'm pretty sure most people can find something that will work for them. And the third thing, and maybe this is super small, but it's the Maui Jim logo in my peripheral vision. If you take a look at the sunglasses, I don't know if you can see, but in the top right, there's the Maui Jim logo on the lens, and that's for branding and for marketing purposes. But I noticed that when I look around, because I tend to kind of like look around, like I tend to like move my eyes around, I can see that logo sometimes. And it doesn't block my vision. It doesn't, you know, mean all that much. But sometimes I've noticed it and it's like, oh, I didn't realize that it was there. Now, again, if you're just looking out, like 95% or I don't know, 99% of the frame is not that. But there's that small little logo there, and I guess if you turn your eyes a lot like me, you're gonna notice it. Again, that's super small and nitpicky, but just something to think about. So if you're looking to buy sunglasses, I would highly recommend Maui Jim. If you can't tell, I'm really excited about the sunglasses that I have. But if you can afford it, and I wanna stress that point, that these are not cheap sunglasses, and there's no point in really going into that consumer debt. I have other sunglasses that are more budget friendly that frankly are probably good enough for most people, and I may wear them occasionally if I know it's gonna be very rough. But I would say that if you can afford it or you can save up for it, they're absolutely worth it. Again, they're not paying me to say that. I just wanted to share my opinion on my experience with this brand. In fact, I wish I would have bought them sooner, because I went through all these different sunglass companies and brands, and yeah, maybe they're trendier, maybe they look nicer in this sort of contemporary style that we have, but you cannot go back once you try these. I was talking to a salesperson and she was telling me about how she used to buy all these fancy brands, these luxury brand sunglasses. And then one day she just tried Maui Jim. And now she regrets buying those luxury brands, probably even more expensive than Maui Jim. But because of the lens quality, once you try these, it's just, you can't go back. Everything else just feels cheaper and plastic, and that's not a bad thing. It's just that once you try these, it's hard to look at any other pair the same way. For me specifically, I was looking for two pairs, one for driving and casual, and one specifically for the beach. And I'm glad that I was able to find the frames that I think look good on me, that suit my needs, and that feel very comfortable. the One Way, and the Amberjack. And these weren't the pairs that I originally set out to buy. I had to go to the store and actually try on a whole bunch to see what looked good and also what fit me best. So if you're one of those online shoppers, I'd highly recommend going out to the store and just trying on a whole bunch, because even if you think you like that frame, when you go to the store, you may try something on that feels better, that looks better, and yeah, maybe that's the one to go with. And of course, while it's very tempting to start a sunglasses collection of Maui Jims, I don't really think I need that. Famous last words, right? But I think I have everything covered. Casual and going to the beach, what more can you ask for? So thanks for watching, and aloha.